Welcome to Queenstown. We have started our journey a couple of weeks ago in Christchurch and slowly made our way down to Marlborough Sound, the beautiful glacier country, and through the House Pass we have arrived to Queenstown, a true gem on the South Island. Today we woke up for a sunny day, which was quite uncommon compared to the last few days. So we took the gondola up from Queenstown and started to hike the Lomond Track, which so many people do, and with views like this, I cannot blame them. The signs here says that it's around 5 hours to hike up and down here. I would rather say it's 6 or 7. It depends on your speed, how long you take the breaks, and how many photo stops you take. You will take a lot. Even if you just do a part of it, it's still beautiful, and yeah, highly recommend it. I should share a little bit of history of how Queenstown became this city we know today. So to fully understand the significant place in history Queenstown has, we have to go back a few hundred years ago. Tribes were just sharing their land and resources between each other. Now everything has changed, obviously, after New Zealand was discovered and the first explorers settled down in this city. Because in the second half of the 1800s, the gold rush started here because near the town in the Chateau Canyon, they found gold. After the exploration of the gold, for many years, Queenstown has attracted a lot of businesses. So after the establishment of the railway and the boating system here, traveling times has also shortened a lot. And in the 20th century, things really started to pop off for Queenstown because in 1939, the first operating ski resort of New Zealand has been established. And just a few years after that, in 1965, the gondola, which we just took a couple of days ago, was built. And the most interesting history fact, for me at least, was that in 1988, bungee jumping was found in Queenstown, next to Queenstown actually. After that, it was named the adventure capital of the world. Good morning, guys. So on our last full day here in Queenstown before heading to Milford Sound and coming back here, we have decided to drive on a road which here they call Road to Paradise. And well, after driving on it for the second time, I can certainly say that it is true. The drive itself takes you from Queenstown to Glenorchy, where we are right now. The drive takes you on the coast all the way here, and the views are mesmerizing. Well, I have said it in these episodes already and on this trip, but I just cannot express how beautiful all the places around here are. So we are doing the Glenorchy walkway. This is a short 2-hour hike which takes you around the scenery a bit. So we started to make our way back on the road to Paradise, and there is a few spots I would recommend stopping by. Probably my favorite stop on the way to Glenorchy was Bennett's Bluff viewpoint, from where you get an astonishing view over the Remarkables and nearby glaciers. If you are looking for a place to watch the sunset from,
You cannot go wrong with Bennett's Bluff viewpoint.
If you want to do just a little hiking with a great combination of beaches, or just want to spend a few moments on the beach as well, if you stop at Bob's Cove car park, you can have both. It could be good for an afternoon or even a morning to spend here. So we decided to do this 12-mile Delta trail, which takes you around 1.5 hours to complete.
As we started the hike late, we haven't made it to the end of the track, but if you have a few hours, I would highly recommend checking it out, as you get a few pretty nice viewpoints of Lake Wakatipu. Additionally, there are designated beach areas where you can lay down to fully immerse yourself.
Alright guys, so I'm back in Queenstown, even though you haven't realized much, because the last part of this vlog ended here a couple of days ago. But I just spent a few nights at Milford Sound, and it was absolutely stunning, jaw-dropping views and unreal conditions. I will link the video somewhere up here. Back in Queenstown for 2 more days actually, and before we leave, we wanted to do some more hikes around the area. So yesterday we went back to Wanaka.
The Roy's Peak hike is a must-do. At the end, you will get a stunning view over Lake Wanaka. It is a very steep climb, but with rewarding views. Unfortunately, due to weather conditions, we weren't able to do this track. Another great hike is Mount Iron Track. It starts right next to Wanaka, and it is a pleasant 45 minutes walk to the top of Mount Iron. You have probably seen the famous Wanaka tree in several Instagram posts, the beautiful tree standing in Lake Wanaka. This was probably one of my most anticipated points in my South Island adventures. And well, a typical Instagram versus reality moment happened. Although the weather conditions weren't ideal, but in my personal opinion, this place is a little overhyped. Probably the best short walk around Wanaka is the hike to the Rocky Mountain Lookout. It offers jaw-dropping views over Lake Wanaka and the surrounding mountains. You start at Diamond Lake Conservation Area, Google Maps will know the way. Once you step on the track, you will soon arrive to the first site of the track, Diamond Lake. Although to get the best views, carry on to the stairs, and after a short 10 minutes climb, you will get to the Diamond Lake Lookout. As you continue on the trail, soon you will come across an intersection. Now you have the choice to take the western or the eastern track. I would recommend to take the latter because it will take you in the direction of Lake Wanaka. About half a kilometer later, you will arrive to another intersection. You can either go to Lake Wanaka or to Rocky Mountain Lookout. Now, if you are not in a good hiking condition or if you are afraid of steep and narrow tracks, I would recommend going to Lake Wanaka Lookout on your right. If you want a little more challenge, you can head up to the left in the direction of the Rocky Mountain Lookout. After a steep ascent, you will have to use your hands to get to the first viewpoint. Now, according to many guides I have read online, from here you can take a relatively easier uphill track to reach the lookout, although when I was visiting the area, this track seemed to be a little washed out. Therefore, I have decided to put my safety first and turn back. Altogether, this is definitely a must-do hike if you have a few hours to spend. It took us approximately 2.5 hours to get back to our car.
And on our last day, we have decided to stay in Queenstown and do the Queenstown Hill track, and in the afternoon Lake Alta. And we are just descending from the Queenstown Hill, and the views are so good. I love this place so much. You either come up in the forest on a normal track or here where we are descending on the gravel path, but both of them are great, offering some of the nicest views. So a few interesting facts about Queenstown and its surroundings is that if you are coming to Queenstown, you are next to Lake Wakatipu. This lake is actually the longest lake in New Zealand. And there is one more thing about this lake. Queenstown and Lake Wakatipu is actually 310 meters above sea level, but the deepest point of the lake is actually below sea level, so you can imagine how long and how deep the lake itself is. Alright, so our last hike in Queenstown actually takes us to the top of the Remarkables, to the ski field. And obviously now it's summer, so nothing is operating, but we are gonna attempt to hike to Lake Alta, which is supposed to be a 1.5 hours return hike, so perfect for this afternoon. The drive up here is absolutely magnificent. You see the river, the lake and the airport, and you can actually take photos of planes landing and taking off, so even if you're not doing the hike, I would definitely recommend paying that $10 and coming up here for a drive. The last 3 kilometers of the drive is gravel road, but up until then it's just perfect. It kind of reminds me of the European Alpine roads we are used to. And while we are getting to the lake itself, I thought I should share one other fun fact about Queenstown, and actually about the Remarkables mountain range, which is right next to Queenstown. So there is only 2 mountain range in the world which is directly north to south. One is the Rockies in North America, and the other one is the Remarkables here next to Queenstown. So if you are following my journey through the South Island, you may remember that 2 weeks ago when I was in the glacier country, I dropped my hat by the way. So when I was in the glacier country, I was telling you about a fun fact about those 2 glaciers, Franz Josef and Fox glaciers. They are 2 of the 3 glaciers in the world that end in temperate rainforest. And now, only a couple of hours away, here at Queenstown, you have this mountain range which is truly unique in the world. And for me it's just mind-blowing that New Zealand has so many unique and one-of-a-kind places to visit. Alright, so we got to the lake, and this is typically one of those occasions when the track itself is more beautiful than the final destination. We haven't go up all the way to the end of the track, but we just saw the lake. The sun is hitting it from the wrong angle, so it must be beautiful in the morning when the light hits it perfectly, but right now it's around 6 p.m. and well, there's just no light on it. But so far it took us around 50 minutes with heaps of photography stops, and to be honest, we are about like 10-15 minutes maybe from the very top, but we decided to go back down to the car and then drive down on that beautiful road. So to be honest, actually, if you only come up here for the road and just hike up a little bit to see those mountains and get some shots from there as well, then you have your perfect afternoon. With finishing this hike, actually we are finishing this video as well. Hope you guys enjoyed it. So tomorrow we are going to Lake Tekapo and Lake Pukaki and Mount Cook National Park through the Lindis Pass. So that will be our last stop here on the South Island, and yeah, see you guys in the next one.